Hello, welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes with me, Lindsay Milner. This week's book is a rare departure for me, a rare foray into fiction instead of non-fiction. And it is a book called Something Happened by Joseph Heller, whose name may be more familiar as the author of Catch-22. So the reason I've included this book is quite some time ago I read a list of British psychologists who recommended a book that they thought everyone should read that helped them with their psychology, with their studies or understanding of the human nature. Some reason why they recommended it for other psychologists. And this was recommended because the psychologist who put it forward said that it tells us something about work. And at the time I was very interested in how we feel about work. So I bought the book, second-hand copy, ages old, quite sort of browned and, a bit worn looking, but fine, it was going to do the job. So there it sat on my bookshelf for quite a long time. And then just recently I came across the book again. It was mentioned in The Art and Science of Personality Development. Because McAdams, when he was talking about redemptive arcs in our personality and how we tell stories about ourselves, he says that what normally happens is that there's some form of trouble in our lives. And he uses this book as an example and says that the reader is encouraged to keep going. I mean, it's called Something Happened, so you think something's going to happen in the book. And the reader's encouraged to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And basically, there's something that happened, does eventually happen. It takes about one page of the novel, which is some 560 pages long. And in all honesty, if McAdams hadn't just told me recently that something happened, I probably would have given up. I just persevered because I wanted to know what the hell happens. Now, obviously I'm not going to reveal it. It's a spoiler. So I'm not going to reveal what happened. As I say, it's right near the end of the book. It takes about one page of the novel. And the novel is 560 pages long. The remainder of the novel is basically a stream of consciousness. It's all written in the first person, and it's about this guy's life and the things that he's not happy with, his job, yes, it does figure, his wife, his family, his home life. I mean, he's just unhappy about pretty much everything. And I started off thinking, oh, this guy should meditate, because I'd not long read the Dan Harris 10% Happier. But it wasn't very far into the novel where I started to think, do you know what, this guy is just an asshole. He has no redeeming qualities at all. He is simply an asshole. And I will use the American term, even though I'm a Brit, because it seems to really just fit him. The novel's written by an American author. It's set in sort of 1950s, early 1960s, American corporate. So yeah, he's an asshole. And as I say, I probably wouldn't have even continued apart from I'd read just recently that like something happens, and I wanted to know what the hell it was. So should you read this book? It's depressing. It does have a commentary on American corporate working life. It has a commentary really as well on, how to be happy in your marriage, how to be happy with your kids, your family life. But I don't honestly know if it's worth reading for that purpose. It's a bit of a cautionary tale, I suppose. But I'm not sure I would bother. If you enjoy a kind of stream of consciousness or, quite dark novels, it was critically acclaimed, and it was written by Joseph Heller, who Catch-22 is probably even more critically acclaimed. So maybe it is worth it from that point of view. I'm sorry that that's not a very conclusive recommendation one way or the other. If I was to pick a side, I would say probably don't bother. I found it hard going, not that enjoyable. I started off it's more interesting than I was expecting, but as it went on, I was like, oh my goodness, this is just more of the same. I've had enough now. Could you stop whinging already, man? You're just too depressing. So yeah, so that's my overall verdict, is probably don't bother. So that is Something Happened, a rare foray into fiction for me, by Joseph Heller. That's this week's book in 5 minutes. Until next time, bye.